So a few weeks ago, I'm at my nail salon in Atlanta, and the two women in the chairs next to me, total strangers where goats are going in on men, like really going in. And one of them goes, "Girl, most men don't even know what they're doing down there. Like they just dive in. No warm up, no nothing, just attack." And the other one is dying laughing. She goes, "Right, like calm down, we're not a scratching post." And then she gets serious and she goes, "But every now and then you meet a man who actually knows what he's doing with his hands. And girl," she just shook her head, "you never get over it, never." And the first woman goes quiet and says, Yeah, you don't." I sat there thinking, this is exactly what I hear in my practice. Exactly. The men who know what they're doing with their hands occupy a completely different place in a woman's desire and memory. This isn't because of how they look or because of their age. It's because of what they know and how they use it. I'm making this video specifically for men over 50 and men over 60 because this is the group that was never taught this. You figured out what you figured out through experience and mostly through silence, because women rarely give direct feedback about this. She doesn't say it's not working. She just quietly adjusts, stays quiet, accommodates, and the gap persists for years without either of you naming it. Today I'm naming it, and then I'm closing it. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Valerie Hayes, and every week on this channel I have the real, honest, practical conversations about sex for men over 50 that most people won't have anywhere else. No judgment, no shame, just what actually works. Hit subscribe and stay with me for this one. Now let me tell you something that changes the entire framing of what I'm about to teach you. Most men over 50 still think about sex the way they thought about it at 30. Get hard, thrust, finish. That was the formula. And for a long time it worked well enough. But let me tell you the truth you won't hear elsewhere. The energy for sustained, aggressive thrusting is not what it was. The body has changed. Stamina shifts. The kind of prolonged physical intensity sex required in your 30s is genuinely harder to sustain at 60. And there is absolutely no shame in that. It is simply what aging does to the human body. Every man over 50 knows this, even if he hasn't said it out loud. And here's the other truth, the one that should actually excite you. Most women don't orgasm from thrusting anyway. I'll say that again because I want it to land properly. The majority of women, study after study confirms this, and 10 years of sitting with women in my practice confirms it even more directly, do not reach orgasm from penetration alone. The internal stimulation of thrusting is pleasurable for many women, but the kind of orgasm that makes a woman grip the sheets, lose her breath, and think about you for days afterward, that comes from direct, skilled, attentive manual stimulation, which means that the man over 60 who has learned to use his hands properly is not at a disadvantage compared to the energetic 30-year-old. He is ahead of him because he has the patience thrusting never required. He has the attention that urgency never allowed. And now, after today, he has the knowledge. Your hands used correctly can give a woman an experience that most men never gave her in their lives at any age. That is not a consolation prize. That is a completely different level of the game. Let me start with the mistake that defeats most men before anything real has a chance to happen. And this mistake is so common among men over 50 that I see it in almost every conversation I have about this topic. It's going too fast, too soon. with too much pressure. You see, when a woman's body isn't sufficiently aroused before direct stimulation begins, what should feel like pleasure feels like pressure. Her body, without her saying a word, begins to protect itself. It tightens, it pulls back, and you're working harder and getting less response, and neither of you quite understands why. So before a single finger goes anywhere near her most sensitive area, spend time on everything around it: inner thighs, lower abdomen, the space just beside but not on the center. Use warmth, use slowness, move like you genuinely have all the time in the world. That patience signals to her nervous system that she is safe, that she is wanted, that this moment is entirely about her. Then, when her breathing starts to deepen, when she begins to move toward your touch rather than simply receiving it, that is when you move closer. Her body will tell you, not a timer, her body. And when you make first contact with the clitoris, the very first touch, I want you to think of it as a question, not a statement. The lightest possible touch. So light she's almost not sure you're there. Use the pad of your middle finger. It gives you the most control and the softest surface, and begin with a very slow, very light circular motion around the outside of the area, not directly on it, around it. That near contact, that almost, pulls her attention entirely to that single point. It creates anticipation in her body before you've given her anything, and anticipation in a woman's arousal is half the work already done. Slowly, gradually, over several minutes, not second, narrow that circle. Bring yourself closer to the center. Let her body's response guide how quickly you move. If her hips shift towards you, if her breathing changes, if she makes any sound at all, those are invitations. Follow them. And when you finally make direct contact, the build you've created means her response will be dramatically more intense than anything that comes from rushing straight there. You are not waiting. You are building something. Then, once she is clearly aroused and your touch is directly on the clitoris, move to a gentle but deliberate up and down motion. Start slower than feels natural to you. The speed that seems almost too slow from your side is very often exactly right from hers. This is one of the most consistent things women tell me, that men increase speed and pressure too fast and move past the stage where sensation is richest. So keep your touch firm enough to be felt clearly, but never so firm it becomes uncomfortable. Confident, not forceful. There is a specific pressure, somewhere between a light stroke and a deliberate press, where most women's bodies respond most fully. You find it by watching her, not by following a formula. And as her arousal builds, her response is intensifying, her breathing changing, her body beginning to move in rhythm with your hand, this is when you can gradually increase speed. Gradually, not suddenly. And now the most important thing I will say in this entire video. When you find what's working, when her body is clearly responding and building towards something, do not change what you're doing. I need you to hear that fully. Do not change it. Not the speed, not the pressure, not the angle, not the motion. Stay exactly there, consistent, steady, unwavering. Because a woman approaching orgasm needs one thing above everything else: consistency. The same stimulation maintained without interruption is what takes her all the way. The moment you change something, even with the best intention, even because you think you're improving it, you interrupt the build. And an interrupted build doesn't simply pause, it deflates. and has to start again. I have heard this from women more times than I can tell you. He was right there, and then he switched something, and it was just gone. So when you find the rhythm that's working, your only job is to stay there. That is it. Stay there until her body tells you it's done, and it will tell you. Now, before I go further, if what I'm saying is clicking for you right now, if you're a man over 50 or over 60 and you're realizing you've never had this explained this clearly before, subscribe to this channel right now. This is what I do every single week. Share real, practical, honest conversations about sex after 50 that you will not find anywhere else. So hit subscribe and let's keep going. Okay, let me circle back to those women in the nail salon in Atlanta for a moment, because what struck me most wasn't what they said about the men who don't know. It was the way they talked about the men who do. She didn't say those men were younger. She didn't say they were better looking or more charming or better in any obvious way. She said you never forget them. And I've heard that from women in my practice for 10 years. When I ask them to describe the most memorable sexual experiences of their lives, the ones that stay with them, they almost never describe the most physically intense experiences. They describe the experiences where a man made them feel completely known, where his attention was so fully on her body, her responses, her pleasure, that she felt for that period of time like the only thing in the world that mattered to him. That's what skilled hands communicate, not just physical pleasure, attention, presence, the evidence that he is here entirely for her. And women don't forget that. They want it again. They want more of it. They find themselves drawn back to a man who made them feel that way, often without fully understanding why. You want to be that man, and now you know how to start becoming him. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. Will every woman respond exactly the way I've described? The vast majority will, and I mean the overwhelming majority. When this approach is applied with genuine patience and attention, the slow build, the reading of her responses, the consistency at the critical moment, most women will respond in ways that will genuinely surprise you. What I've described here is backed by everything we know about female arousal, and it is confirmed by what women themselves consistently say when asked directly. But there are exceptions. Some women have specific sensitivities that need a slightly different approach. Some women, particularly after certain hormonal changes, may need more warmth and more time before stimulation of any kind feels fully pleasurable. For those women, the approach is the same but slower. More time in the beginning, more warmth before you arrive. And if you're in a relationship with a woman and want to understand her specific responses better, a simple, warm conversation outside the bedroom works better than any adjustment in the moment. Ask her what she loves. Most women asked with genuine care and no pressure will tell you, and what she tells you is more specific than anything I can give you, because it's hers. But for the majority of women over 50, approach this way, with this knowledge, with this quality of attention, the experience will be unlike most of what they've had before, because most men have never done this. Now you have. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. A man over 50 who knows how to use his hands with patience and skill is not competing with younger men. He is in a completely different category. The urgency that makes young men rush is gone in you. The self-focus that makes young men miss what's happening right in front of them, mostly gone. What you have that they don't is the capacity for real attention, the willingness to slow down, the patience to build something instead of just arriving. That is the foundation of everything I taught you today. The technique is the tool. Your attention is what makes it extraordinary. Men over 50 who apply this, and I mean really apply it with patience, with genuine focus on her, consistently become the men their partners want more of. And it won't be because they performed well. It'll be because she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Maybe ever. Give her that. Because you're more than capable of it. Now, before you go, my private weekly newsletters where this conversation continues without any of the restrictions this platform puts on me. What women actually say to each other about what they want and what they're not getting. Practical, specific, unfiltered. Every week you get one topic, nothing held back. No drugs, no supplements. Just real talk for men over 50 who want to actually improve their sex lives. It's free to join, and the link is in the comment area. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Every week there's a new video on this channel built for men over 50 who refuse to accept less from this part of their lives. You get real information, real conversations like this one. Nothing watered down. So hit the subscribe button now and ring the notification bell to join the community. I'll see you then. Take good care of yourself.